So, today I'm going to discuss with you guys why Jarl Balgruuf is actually not that great of a leader. Yes, he's a great person, and we all love Balgruuf. It doesn't matter if you're playing as a Stormcloak, it doesn't matter if you're playing as an Imperial. Um, we all love him as a great dude. But, um, me serving in the U.S. military and being a U.S. veteran, I would say that Jarl Balgruuf ain't such a great leader. Now, I say this from a military perspective. Now, Jarl Balgruuf could be nice to his people. He could be, very friendly to his people, and he is not so smug. He's not a snob. He's not arrogant, and you could tell that he loves his people. He cares about them, but um, like good intentions could also lead are the pathway to hell. And so look where I'm standing. I'm not standing. I'm actually sitting on a horse. But look where I'm at. I'm in Riverwood. Sorry, I'm in Riverwood. And
Stupid.
oh, there's a thief right there. He called the dog stupid, but oh, there he is. I'm not going to do anything because I'm already the leader of the Thieves Guild. Well, not yet. I did not return that special lockpick thingy to. I forgot what's her name. But yeah, so I did not even complete the Thieves Guild all the way. I did not return that special lockpick. But anyways, I'm in Riverwood, and what do you guys see here? You don't see any soldiers, right? Yes. To those of you wondering, yeah, I did the Thieves Guild. I did not even inform the Jarl about the dragons yet, right? But anyways, if you notice that there's no soldiers in Riverwood, right? Well, here's the thing: why aren't there any soldiers in Riverwood? Why is it the Dragonborn's responsibility to go to the Jarl of Whiterun and tell him, hey, you need to put some soldiers in Riverwood because there's a dragon about, right? Did the Jarl forget that there is a civil war going on? On top of that, the the hold of Whiterun is theoretically independent. It is neither on the side of the Imperials, it is neither on the side of the Stormcloaks. Basically, let's look at this map right here. Yeah, so all this territory, right here, of course, Rorikstead, Riverwood, we're just right here, and the city of Whiterun, all of this territory, right? See this arrow, most of this territory, it's basically independent. You've got a civil war that's going on for about a year, and it's been going on way before we start the game. So, when we start the game and you wake up, it's been probably at least a year since the civil war has been happening. And if you listen to the dialogue between all the characters, especially the ones who are fighting against the Imperials or fighting against the Stormcloaks, you hear their dialogue, and you could tell that the war has been going on for quite some time. It did not just happen when the game started. So, basically, it's been happening for a while. So why didn't Jarl Balgruuf send troops over here to Riverwood? Because again, let's go back to this map. Okay, so further right here, you got the Guardian Stones. Okay, so Helgen, this is Falkreath. Falkreath Hold. So this is somewhere the border of Whiterun and Falkreath are somewhere right here in this region somewhere. I don't know exactly. It's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, and here's the city of Falkreath, and all this is Falkreath Hold right here. You also got the border of the Rift somewhere right in this area, right? So basically, and then I believe there's this Stormcloak, the hidden Stormcloak, the hidden Stormcloak camp somewhere right here somewhere. Yeah, I need to do some more traveling, but yes, why aren't there any troops right here in Riverwood? Well, and not just in Riverwood, but there should be at least some tiny garrison, somewhere right here in this little region, near the Emershard mine, for example, right? why is Riverwood not unguarded? You have soldiers in Rorikstead, if I can find it. There it is. There's Rorikstead. You have soldiers right here in Rorikstead. And that's good because, you know, you're protecting against an Imperial invasion. That is good. But what if decide that like they need to take over Whiterun all of a sudden, and they go in from Helgen and through Riverwood, and it doesn't matter if Helgen's destroyed or not. You know, I mean, it's still Imperial territory, it's still hold. I mean, like if you got the mod where you could rebuild Helgen, yeah, like boom, it gets rebuilt, and it doesn't have to be rebuilt. You know, it's ruined, whatever. It doesn't mean the soldiers cannot go through the debris and cannot, you know, make a pathway and everything. You know, so it's no big deal for the Imperials because again, like what if the Dragonborn does not go to Whiterun? And as you can see, I've been to Whiterun, but I did not talk to the Jarl at this time yet. Yeah, but I'm trying to prove my point. Why are there any troops there? It's very dangerous because what if the Stormcloaks hidden inside their camp somewhere like in this region? What if they sent a message because go further here and you're in Stormcloak territory, you're in the Rift, that's Stormcloak territory, and they can send messengers all the way up to Windhelm right here, and you know send intelligence reports to Ulfric and tell him, yeah, by the way, there are no troops in Riverwood. And let's assume Ulfric does not send the axe to... Okay, let's get back to, you know, exploring some more of this area. But what if Ulfric does not send the axe to Balgruuf? What if Ulfric just kind of decides on a plan to take over Whiterun immediately? Like, what if Galmarg finally convinces Balgruuf to just act in surprise? On top of that, we all know that when you start the Civil War quest, and if you play as the Stormcloak, you're obviously helping the Stormcloaks find the Jagged Crown. Oh, there's a giant. It'd be nice to just kind of go past him. How you doing, sir? Uh-oh. Wolves chasing me. But anyways, so you have to go and get the Jagged Crown and so forth. But would it not be easier to just take over Whiterun Hold? Here you go again. Like, you know, like the Jagged Crown is somewhere around here, somewhere, and it's like kind of near the border of Whiterun and the Pale. And I believe it's theoretically, it's technically part of the Pale, but it's really close to Whiterun. So, like, I don't know, but yeah. But would it not be easier to just kind of secure that territory as a whole first, and then just calmly grab the Jagged Crown with a scouting team instead of being all sneaky about it? But anyways, so yeah, like what if what if Ulfric decides that, you know, he just wants to do a surprise attack and he has his troops waiting right here. So where is the actual border? Okay, I believe it's probably somewhere right here between actually it's probably more like the border between Winterhold Hold. Yeah, that's an interesting name. And Eastmarch and Whiterun, somewhere like in this region. Yeah, like it sounds like it gets confusing. I believe this is part of Eastmarch, or this is part of Winterhold as well, and this is part of Whiterun Hold, somewhere in this region. By the way, there's a Stormcloak camp right here, right? But let's just say you have an army of troops waiting, you know, like right here in the border, right? They're just waiting, but they cannot cross because theoretically, by the way, theoretically there should be some kind of Imperial soldier, sorry, not Imperial soldiers, because again, Whiterun is technically independent. They're not Imperial, they're not Stormcloaks. So there should be theoretically some kind of Whiterun soldiers guarding this area. So let's just assume you got a Stormcloak army on this side, but they're not crossing because, you know, it's not going to be a good surprise attack if, you know, there's Whiterun Guard soldiers right here. So then you have some soldiers here, you got soldiers, you know, right here. Obviously in this area you see them patrolling Pelagia Farm and Honningbrew Meadery. That's where I'm at right now. And you know, like, it's really smart that they have, you know, soldiers in Rorikstead, again, to protect from the Imperials. So let's just, of course, you don't really see them, the Whiterun guards, the Whiterun soldiers here. You see the Whiterun soldiers kind of like in this area. Okay, so fine. So let's say the Stormcloaks, they don't want to take the risk because it's not really going to be a surprise. They might be held back, and the Stormcloaks could actually lose in this area and be defeated, right? And so their invasion fails. But you have this Stormcloak, secret Stormcloak camp right here. What if they get orders to sneak through, some of the Imperial territory, which is very tiny, sneak through right here, and boom, take over Riverwood. Boom, Riverwood now belongs to the Stormcloaks. So then, as a distraction, and by the way, it is most likely that Balgruuf will not even know that Riverwood belongs to the Stormcloaks because, again, there's no intelligence, and there's nobody there. I mean, the Stormcloaks take over Riverwood, and they're going to make sure there are no messengers who will leave the town. They'll take it over and make sure, and they'll use it as a resource. I mean, if you've been to Riverwood, there's a lumber mill, there's other resources there. There's a river, there's fish. The soldiers could hold that town for a long time, and then the soldiers from the official army from from the Stormcloaks could actually, start the attack, go through here, and let's just assume that the Whiterun guards know about this. They have a defense. They're holding off against the Stormcloaks, and then simultaneously, the Stormcloaks who control Riverwood, they send the troops, a certain portion of troops, down right here to Whiterun. So you got soldiers way out here in this region somewhere, and then you have soldiers right here in this region, but you don't have too many soldiers guarding Riverwood. And then you have this surprise attack, and boom, then the Stormcloaks just theoretically could just surround the army that's fighting the other Stormcloak army right here, and then the Whiterun guards are surrounded. They're surrounded, they get destroyed, and the Stormcloaks together just continue marching with a united force this time. The united force that came from the east, and the force of soldiers, the remnant of soldiers that came from Riverwood. And united, they just calmly march into the city of Whiterun, destroy whatever's left of the small resistance, and boom, Whiterun belongs to the Stormcloaks. And so yeah, the Jarl. So basically, right there, the Jarl of Whiterun was trying to kind of keep his independence. That's where he fails. On top of that, the Imperials could do the same exact thing. If the Imperials are sick and tired of Whiterun's independence, and they just want to crush, they want to crush the Stormcloaks once and for all, the Imperials could get tired of this, and they could do the same thing. They just march into Riverwood, and not just stop at Riverwood, they'll just continue. And while they're doing that, they'll distract. But first, the Imperials do the same thing. They'll probably do some distraction right here at Rorikstead, and then, simultaneously, actually, they don't need distraction. They'll probably just march into Riverwood, and then the other soldiers, the other Imperials, just try to take over Rorikstead. If they fail, it doesn't matter, because the other army just simply walk through here, and boom, it could be another surprise attack. It could be a surprise attack this time from the Imperials, again, because Riverwood is not defended. Now, if you know anything about civil wars from history, especially if you study the Russian Civil War, well, you had it wasn't just the Red Guards and the White Guards. Yeah, Red Guard, haha. But these Red Guards were communists. So you have the Red Guards and the White Guards fighting each other. Okay, and there were areas where, some smaller cities, smaller towns, they did not have protection from either side. I mean, they were kind of vulnerable to invasion from both sides. But theoretically, a certain city will kind of theoretically belong to one side, but they will not have any soldiers there, or they will have a tiny amount of soldiers there. And so you would have anarchist gangs. The White Guard and Red Guard would refer to the anarchists usually as bandits, And so here in Skyrim, in this fantasy world of Skyrim, or the Elder Scrolls, we have bandits, and we got, like, what if bandits decide to take over Riverwood? And again, bandits could live off the town. It's a good resource. Again, lumber mill. You have the river, lots of fish flowing through. There's wildlife outside of town. So yeah, the bandits, they could hold this town and create an anarchist commune, and boom, the city of Whiterun does not get any taxes because the citizens of Riverwood are conquered by the bandits. There you go. So economically, Whiterun could lose, and yeah, all because Balgruuf did not send troops. And the Civil War has been happening for about a year. Like, when you wake up in the game, when your character wakes up in the game and they say, "Hey there, you were trying to cross the border," well, it's been about a year. So you're trying to tell me that y'all Balgruuf could not send any troops into Riverwood? You're trying to tell me that y'all Balgruuf could not secure Riverwood ahead of time? BS, especially, again, like, basically throughout this entire year, both the Stormcloaks and the Imperials have kind of respected Whiterun's neutrality. They respected Whiterun's independence because officially, Balgruuf did not sign any declaration of independence. He did not make any official declaration, and the Imperials did not accept Whiterun's independence, and neither did the Stormcloaks. But they're also not violating Whiterun's sovereignty because both sides are still kind of trying to convince Whiterun to kind of join them peacefully, because it's more convenient like that. You don't waste too many troops, and it makes more sense to kind of try to win Whiterun over to your side in a peaceful manner and in a respectful manner, mostly, not necessarily peaceful, but more like a respectful. Oh, those are vampires. I need to stay away from those. Oh, those are the Vigilants. I don't get it. Why are the Vigilants over here? I mean, I have the Dawnguard DLC. Basically, if you already downloaded the Dawnguard DLC, like, the Vigilants Order is destroyed. Their entire building, their headquarters is gone. Like even if you even if you didn't start the game but you already have the DLC downloaded, basically the Vigilant Standard, like, their headquarters is gone. I don't know why these guys are still here. It's probably some kind of glitch. There's no way that they should be alive. They're all dead, basically. And if you do see somebody dressed as a Vigilant, it's probably vampires disguised. Yeah, like, basically this is some kind of glitch. They should not exist because I already have Dawnguard DLC downloaded. Like, yeah, like, you don't even have to, like, kind of start the DLC. If you have it downloaded, the Vigilants don't exist anymore. And I'm kind of halfway through the Dawnguard. Well, kind of, because like, I did not finish the companions, and I did not finish the Dawnguard, and I'm almost done with Thieves Guild. Yeah, I know, it's kind of bad. But anyways, back to my conversation about, or my rant about Balgruuf. I mean, like, basically, when the Jarl gets informed by you as a Dragonborn, when you tell him, yeah, there's a dragon in Helgen, and one of the characters asked me to tell you, or you don't necessarily have to talk to the characters. You can just run straight to Riverwood and just tell him that there's a dragon in Helgen. And that's when Balgruuf decides, oh yeah, I must protect my... Like, I must, have troops in Riverwood. And now, Proventus Avenici, Proventus, he makes a good point. He goes, well, wait a minute. If you send troops there, the Jarl of Falkreath could assume that you're trying to go to war. And, Jarl Balgruuf yells at him, tells him, well, what should I do? Should I kind of not protect my people against the dragon? And Proventus Avenici, he had a good point. I mean, it's like, hey, Jarl, you had an entire year. You had a whole year to kind of have troops there from the start. Like, because while the chaos is happening, while, one hold is deciding, should I join the Imperials, should I join the Stormcloaks, you have plenty of time to just kind of send troops there and keep them there. And again, as any civil war begins, there's basically chaos usually going on, and people don't know, like, which side they should join, and you're trying to choose a faction. And so with this chaos, you could have had soldiers in Riverwood, and no one would have judged you. But now, entire year has gone by. You have not joined any side, and you have troops just randomly show up in Riverwood, and again, you have troops in Riverwood, but you did not attack either side. You show up there, and the Jarl of Falkreath, who knows what he could think of this? He could just do nothing because, all of you who have met the Jarl, the original Jarl of Falkreath, the loyalist, he's not that bright. He's kind of more into himself. He's not really a military strategist. So nothing to worry about. But Proventus of Veneti's concern, it's justified. So the Jarl kind of, Jarl Balgruuf kind of did not have to necessarily raise his voice, or he did not have to raise his tone at Proventus of Venici. Proventus kind of had a point, but at the same time, the Jarl was kind of right. Yeah, it's better to have troops there now than never. Better late than never. So, yeah, but the Jarl just did not have to raise his voice at Proventus. Proventus, he had a valid point. The Jarl should have said, yeah, you're right, but I mean, better late than never. And again, there's a dragon going flying around, so might as well have him there right now. Which again, you should have had him there. You should have had them stationed there a year ago. And again, any side could have just simply walked through. Simply could have just invaded, and they could have at least held off this section at least, and waited for additional troops to come out. It could have been the Imperials, could have been the Stormcloaks, but they don't even necessarily have to hold it. They just walk through, and then they could hold off this entire section, not just Riverwood, but they could hold off up to Pelagia Farm. Again, that's resources, Honeybrewed Meadery. I mean, that's treats for your soldiers. You got this farm, Battleborn Farm. Yeah, you got all this river right here. You got all this land. You got all this wildlife. Basically, the Imperials could hold this little section off. The Stormcloaks, if they do a surprise attack, they just especially the ones hiding up right here in this little camp, they could just take it over, and then send a portion of soldiers right through here, and then the other Stormcloaks just come in, and boom, you have this whole area belonging to Stormcloaks, and they could hold it off for a while. And what's Balgruuf going to do? And he cannot send messengers because again, basically, it's most likely the Stormcloaks will have scouts in this area. Make sure there are no couriers being sent to the Imperials. And then eventually, the Stormcloaks could just storm the city, figure out a strategy. Balgruuf, he's putting his people at risk. Now, I'm not going to continue talking about Riverwood because it's kind of obvious, why Riverwood needs to be defended. Now, let's talk about some other spot. Let's talk about this military fort right here, Fort Greymore. Let's transfer over there. Hopefully, the bandits that control it do not attack me. Yeah, we're fast traveling here, so might take a little bit, but yeah, I don't understand why Balgruuf does not see the significance in Fort Greymore. Alright, so here it is. Here is Fort Greymore. Right now there are bandits in this place. I think I'll just leave. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good tempting them. But as you can see, there's a Whiterun right ahead of me. But theoretically, I mean, this could be, probably, I don't know how many miles in the game. It's probably maybe a mile in the game. I don't know. But if this was reality, it'd probably be more than a mile away, be further away. So Fort Greymore, it's very significant. It's good to have additional troops there. A fort, it's basically an equivalent to a military base in America. You go to Fort Bliss, Texas, Fort Bliss, Fort Knox, Fort Benning. That's where I went to. That's where I went to basic training, or some people call it boot camp. But that's where I went. I went to basic training at Fort Benning, and basically a fort. So, for example, Fort Greymore. It's not just a military garrison. It's not where you just hold your troops and your troops are deployed to protect your country, to invade other countries. basically a fort is also a recruitment center. It's training grounds. So you have recruits and you send recruits to a fort. And also the city of Whiterun has a garrison inside of it. It's actually got two barracks. You got the barrack on the east side of town, and it's got the smaller barrack on the west side of town near the front gate. But yeah, like you have a fort right here. You could literally, what is this? Who is this?
Die, damn
Argonian.
you.
Why is Argonian trying to kill me? What'd I do to you, bro? Damn, what'd I do to you? Why are you trying to kill me? Where is he? Yeah.
Time for you to die.
All right. Why is he trying to kill me? Is he some kind of assassin? Is he an assassin? I think I pissed somebody off. Yeah. All right, let's go to this guard right here. Hopefully he'll protect me. Okay, he says, fight. Okay, so the guard is not trying to help me. Okay, that is dangerous. Okay, I want to use the battle cry shout, but I don't want the guards. I don't want my wanted level to go up yet. So I'll go further away, and let's get rid of this Argonian because he's starting to anger me. He's making me angry because I'm trying to give you guys this beautiful lecture on why Balgruuf sucks, and this Argonian is not helping at all. So let's go further. Let's go closer to Fort Greymore. Let's go right here. Right, let's do my powers just in case I forget to use them. Battle cry, good. Alright, so let's get off my high horse. Ha ha ha. No pun intended. There we go. Die, Argonian. Unfortunately, you're not lusty Argonian maid. Oh, that was gross. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not really into that, but yeah. I thought it'd be a dumb joke. I thought it was funny, but it was a dumb joke. Alright, guys, I'm almost done. Let me get rid of this Argonian. I'll continue my lecture on why Jarl Balgruuf is a crappy military strategist. Alright. Gold. What? This guy, you know, there's no bounty on me. This guy just wants to murder me. Like, what is he? A serial killer? He wanted to murder me. Oh, this horse wants to kill me now, huh? Why do you want to kill me, horse? Well, I did steal the horse, by the way. So, to all you who are kind of soft-hearted, I'm sorry I killed the horse, but I mean, it would have been annoying, and like basically it would have ruined this live stream. So, anyways, Fort Greymore right here. Continuing, Fort Greymore, it could be a recruitment center. It could be a place to, you know, not just have soldiers living there. So you already have a garrison. Well, what is that? Why is that in the air? Anyways, so so the city of Whiterun, it already has a garrison of soldiers in the city. That's a good thing, and they're patrolling the outskirts. And if we go further, we'll see them there. I mean, right here in this tower, right here, the West Watch Tower. I think it's called Western Watch Tower. And although it has the imperial flags, I mean, it theoretically doesn't mean anything because these flags could have been there before the Civil War, and obviously they probably maybe had imperial soldiers stationed here. So, and they just kept the flags. Yeah. So this tower right here, you have Whiterun soldiers there, and that is good. That is good that there's a small garrison of troops here, and they're actually basically patrolling, you know, like basically looking around, make sure there are no enemies crossing, and that's a good thing too. I mean, but still, I mean, it's really no help. I mean, like they could send a warning, they could see probably an enemy like a few miles away, but by the time you send the messenger, the enemy that's a few miles away could actually get close to the city, and so kind of. That is why I will explain why the fort is very important to have. Now, the city of Whiterun, it has a garrison of troops, and we see troops walking around outside the city. Unfortunately, I don't see any troops in this section, which is really bad. Maybe it's because we have soldiers all the way up here in Rorikstead, and maybe there's like no need. But again, anything could happen. There could be some secret trail right here, actually. Like, by the way, if you download this, there's a mod called Mando's Borders, and you actually have like basically a border guards right here. You have more border patrols right here. Like, but again, you have to download a mod to actually have strong borders. That's what really sucks. And anyways, not just borders, but just, not necessarily borders. You have checkpoints within the country. But it's kind of sad you have to download mods for that. It's sad that vanilla Skyrim doesn't have them. But anyways, so you should have soldiers in the city, and they have a garrison. And as I said earlier, there are 2 barracks. There are 2 barracks in the city, and that's good. That is a good thing. And there's a dungeon. There are soldiers in the dungeon patrolling. So yeah, I guess you could call that a barracks as well. But yeah, at least that is good. At least that is good. And you could have recruits train over there. So you could have soldiers who graduate their military training right here at Fort Greymore, and you could have new recruits graduate right here. That is a good thing. But Fort Greymore is very important. Unfortunately, it's overrun by bandits. Now, why isn't it controlled by Whiterun? Like, literally, you would think that, like, in case there is some kind of surprise attack, again, coming in from Riverwood, and yes, I'm going back to Riverwood, but I have no choice, because, like, you could still have additional soldiers. You could have an army of soldiers who are trained, and you have a strong military base right here, who could actually come to the aid. So let's just assume the Imperials lose their honor, and the Stormcloaks do the same thing. They go through Riverwood. They just go through here. They try to control everything right here, and they try to attack Whiterun. Well, you could have additional soldiers coming in from the fort to aid. And like if you play, it doesn't matter which side you choose, but like if you start the Civil War quest, what does Jarl Balgruuf do? Like, he doesn't say, hey, let's prepare the soldiers at Fort Greymore. No, he goes, well, I guess I have no choice but to ask the Imperials for aid. Now think about this. Like, again, it's another risk. But by the time the Imperial soldiers get there, what if the Stormcloaks already start the march? Because, like, what if they start marching in already? By the time the Imperials get the message, you have the couriers going back here, and of course, if you're playing as a Stormcloak, if you're a Stormcloak sympathizer, yeah, you could go back, send the message to Ulfric. But again, like, what's the guarantee that there are no soldiers waiting in this area? For example, you have Fort Amol. I believe that when you play as on the Imperial side, I believe, Fort Amol is the one that force that you have to take over, or not? Yeah, Fort Amol, yeah, or Morvenskar. No, it's Fort Amol. Yeah, Fort Amol. And, like, of course, right now, I did not start the Civil War quest, and Fort Amol kind of belongs to bandits, and that's just the game developers kind of. That's one thing I don't like about what the game developers have done. They made like a lot of these forts, especially in the territories, that like in military territories. They made them like abandoned and controlled by bandits when they should be controlled by soldiers, and it sucks that Fort Amol is only controlled by Stormcloak soldiers when you're playing as the Imperial, when you are recapturing or re-enslaving the people of Skyrim. So anyways, so Fort Amol could be used as a garrison on Stormcloak end, because, I mean, in reality, I'm pretty sure Fort Amol would not be used by bandits. There will be Stormcloak soldiers, and basically, if Ulfric is smart, he would have soldiers there, and they could start the march from here, and boom, like, but by the time you send the courier to the Imperials, and by the time the Imperials react, because like the Imperials, yeah, I mean, technically they kind of have a good position right here, but again, like, the courier is being sent mostly to who? To Solitude, to General Tullius. That's where he's at. General Tullius is not somewhere closer. He's not somewhere, in Falkreath, where he could actually get the message faster and dispatch soldiers straight through Helgen, through here, and so forth. No, like basically, General Tullius is way up here, and like by the time he sends a messenger to whatever troops are out there, because you have Imperial camps out here, you have military forts right here somewhere, and I'm pretty sure they're all going to dispatch soldiers to go to Whiterun. But by the time that message gets sent out, it's a huge possibility that the Stormcloaks could just get into Whiterun. And so, why isn't Fort Greymore a Whiterun military garrison? Why is it not? Why is it not protected? Why is it not under the protection of Whiterun? Why is it controlled by bandits? So basically, again, Balgruuf, that is all Balgruuf's fault. Balgruuf should know better. You know, like he should know that like he needs that fort. He needs to recruit soldiers. He needs conscription, by the way. He needs to kind of force locals to serve at least temporarily in his military service. Oh wow, was this Vanilla Skyrim? I don't remember this. Is this Vanilla Skyrim? Like probably is. I just it's probably part of the mod. I forgot which mod I used, but I don't think this is part of any mod. Is this Vanilla Skyrim? Do any of you guys remember? Yeah, just let me know in the comments section.
All right.
Okay, all right, thief.
Or I'll gut you like a fish.
All right, here. Do I look like? Whoa, brother. Okay, guild member.
Of course. I've seen you at the Flagon. Good luck out there.
Yeah, walk away, walk away. Don't mess with your fellow thieves person, or thief, whatever. Yeah. So, anyways, this might be Vanilla Skyrim. So, is this a border? Is this some kind of border? Is this the Pale? I don't remember. But anyways, yeah. So, and that's basically my rant about Fort Greymore. Yeah. So, like, basically, my main point is that Jarl Balgruuf, he is not a great military strategist. He's not a great leader. Like, yeah, he could be kind, he could be a good person, and like he's not smug, he's not a snob. He goes to the bar, he hangs out with his people. He's not sitting on his high horse, and he loves his people. But like, why isn't he protecting them? Why is he not forcing a military service in his country? Why is he not protecting his people? Like, why is he allowing them to be at risk? So regardless of dragons, I mean, like, dragons or not, there's a civil war in your country. And like, I mean, technically not in his country, because Whiterun is independent, and like he has the advantage here because both sides are basically trying to negotiate. Both sides, like, basically they're trying to basically fight each other, like right here in this area, and they're trying to fight each other somewhere right here in this area, because you know, like it doesn't matter if you have a mod, it doesn't matter if you have vanilla Skyrim. Once in a while you'll see by the way, and this is something else, speaking of borders, basically if you have vanilla Skyrim or if you have a mod, it doesn't matter which one you have. Now of course if you have a mod, it's a lot bigger, because you could have the mod where you download lots of, where you could have the Civil War mod, and you could have like, I forgot what they're called. There's different mods where they enhance the Civil War setting, where you'll see soldiers running around fighting each other. You'll have like 30 Imperials, 30 Stormcloaks fighting, and like you just watch it, and just amazing, like seeing both sides fight each other, and you're like, yeah, this is how the Civil War should be. and if you have vanilla Skyrim, you'll see once in a while, you'll see it, like you probably see 3 Imperials and 3 Stormcloaks, and it's some kind of glitch, you know, like 3 Stormcloaks be walking around through Imperial territory, or 3 Imperials walking around through Stormcloak territory, and you'll see like 2 groups accidentally bump into each other, and again it would be usually 3 on 3. But if you have the mod, it's a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger than that. Now with Whiterun, and even if you have vanilla Skyrim, even with vanilla Skyrim, once in a while you'll randomly see some glitch. There will be 3 Imperials and 3. Is that a saber-tooth tiger? Oh, I better stay hidden from that guy. All right, to battle. Come here. On guard. Beautiful. That was that's very cool. Do I want his pelts? Nope, don't want his pelt. Boom. Self-defense, everybody. So all of you animal lovers, that was self-defense right there. That was justified. Well, let's go to Whiterun, to this actual city of Whiterun. Yeah. Does Balgruuf not protect his people? Because that is not a good thing. Even for vanilla Skyrim, that is not a good thing that you see random soldiers walking around fighting each other. That's a violation of the borders. That is a violation of Whiterun's sovereignty, and Balgruuf should get in on that because if any group of soldiers can just walk in and
that means something.
Walk in and fight each other, well, again, there's something wrong with your security system, bro. You got to update your security. And I'm not going up there yet. I'm not I'm weird like that. I haven't told the Jarl, because my goal is to kind of finish the Companion's Quest. And the reason why I started the Companion's Quest is because I was infected as a vampire while trying to play on the side of the Dawn Guard. Then the Dawn Guard temporarily kicked me out, told me I need to go heal myself, and I got too lazy doing the whole soul trapping thing and trying to talk to Valiant. So I'm thinking the best way is to kind of finish the Companion's Quest and become a werewolf, and that's what happened. So I'm a werewolf, playing as a werewolf, and so yeah. Anyways, just look at this beautiful city. I love Whiterun. I think we all love Whiterun. It's got that nice setting. It's very calm. It's like in the middle, and yeah, just kind of beautiful. Just this nice setting. But anyways, it's not good. You have random soldiers just walking around fighting each other, and also when you see the Imperials taking away a prisoner, and they tell you, hey, Imperial business, move on, right? You have the option to free the soldier. You guys probably done it before. Well, a lot of times I'll see the Imperials walking through Riverwood, by the way. Is that interesting? Of course, I'll see the Imperials walking through right here too, and all the way up to Rorikstead. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, so you have Imperial soldiers violating the border, walking through Whiterun, and you mean to tell me nobody reported that to Balgruuf? You mean to tell me that Balgruuf just is sitting on his throne and he doesn't know about this? That is a shame. Because those soldiers could also be scouts. They could just report what they see. They could literally tell their commanders wherever they're going. They could go to I know there's an Imperial Fort somewhere right here. They could report to their commanders. Fort Snowhawk, for example. They could be going to Fort Snowhawk and keeping the guy prisoner in Fort Snowhawk. You don't know. But they could be going to Dragon's Bridge. They could tell the commanders of Dragon's Bridge, and all intelligence info eventually ends up right here in Solitude, on General Tullius's desk. And so he reads all these intelligence reports. He's got scouts everywhere. Basically, and you mean to tell me those soldiers who are taking a prisoner don't make any reports? They make reports, and they're just calmly walking through Whiterun as if it's theirs, and it's not theirs. Whiterun is basically independent. Of course, the Imperials and Stormcloaks, they both claim Whiterun for themselves. The Stormcloaks obviously believe that Whiterun is part of Skyrim, and Skyrim is fighting for its independence, and therefore the people of Whiterun need to be liberated and everything. And so that's how they view it. And the Imperials, they view Whiterun as part of theirs, because if Skyrim belongs to the Imperials and Whiterun is part of Skyrim, therefore Whiterun belongs to the Imperials. That is the Imperial logic. And yet again, Balgruuf, was able to secure Whiterun when the Civil War first happened, but he's not able to secure every single spot in Whiterun, which is sad, because it's not just Riverwood. It's also this other border between the Reach and and Whiterun. So you have Rorikstead, it's defended. There's a garrison troops there. That is good. But somewhere in this region, there's other pathways around here. Not Fort Greymore, but you got other. There's other like routes, other paths that you could take, and they're not protected at all. And like basically, again, if the Imperials wanted to, they just go in through here, and the Imperials could just take over Fort Greymore, and then boom, have a garrison troops there, and guess what? Balgruuf will be surrounded by Imperials, and Imperials could do two things. They could, they have the info. They could just take over Riverwood, and then from this side come in from Fall Creek. They come in from the Reach, and like they don't even have to touch Rorikstead. They just go through these pathways, and others troops go. They could actually cross through here too. Across Ilya's river, lake. Is that Ilya's lake? Yeah, and like boom, like and take over Fort Greymore, and then like you have two garrisons. You have the garrison in Riverwood, you have the garrison in Fort Greymore, and boom, Whiterun is then forced. And because if the Imperials force Whiterun to give in, well, I highly doubt that Balgruuf would be forgiven. Balgruuf probably would be in some Imperial prison. Basically, Balgruuf, he is lucky that Balgruuf is lucky that the Imperials actually forgave him. And it's probably because Balgruuf finally chose a side, and the Imperials are thinking, well, he volunteered to kind of join back with us, and so we'll spare him. Kind of okay, so like might as well keep him since he's on our side now for sure. But what if the Imperials are impatient? What if they just take over Whiterun? And Balgruuf, obviously, like he's going to be treated as a traitor, despite the fact that he's not on the side of the Stormcloaks. He's still theoretically a traitor to the Imperials as well. Like the Imperials still view him as a traitor, and from their point of view, they have a reason. So, yeah, they view him as a traitor to both Skyrim and the Empire. And so, if Balgruuf, if he ends up fighting against the Imperials because he was too busy trying to pick a side, well, they'll execute him. And guess what? His borders are not secure. His security system sucks. He's putting his entire country at risk. An independent Whiterun is going to be at risk because of his laziness. Like I don't know what his deal is. Like his entire country is at risk of invasion. Now, going back to Fort Greymore, by the way. Now I've already mentioned why it's important. If you notice, by the way, when you play as the Imperials, I believe Fort Greymore still belongs to the Bandits. So if you fight for the Imperials and you protect Whiterun from Stormcloak invasion, I believe Fort Greymore is still part of the Bandits. It belongs to the Bandits after that, which is still stupid because it's still a major risk. But anyways, when you play as the Stormcloaks, though, like I noticed the Stormcloaks are a lot smarter. Like literally, when Jarl Greymane, when the Greymane, when he becomes the Jarl, basically under his control, there are Stormcloak soldiers right here in Fort Greymore. So if you fight on the side of Stormcloaks, you take over Whiterun, you see Stormcloak soldiers in Fort Greymore. Why is it that the Stormcloaks take over the fort? Why are there no more bandits? Like, oh, speaking of, see what I'm talking about? Literally, guys, see this. These guys, these Imperials, just walking through, just passing through Whiterun's territory. Like they don't care. Like they're walking as if they own the place. I'm not going to free the guy this time, but
I'm warning.
Yeah.
Your presence is interfering with Imperial business. Be gone.
Yeah, how rude. Yeah, but yeah, this is Whiterun, independent Whiterun, and like you have like these guys may not even be. This guy, for example, might not really be a real prisoner. Maybe he's also a scout, just like these guys. These guys are probably just scouts, but they're pretending to be leading a prisoner. They could say, "Oh yeah, we were lost. Sorry, how do we get out of here?" You don't know, but yeah. And maybe they're not scouts. Maybe they're legitimately taking some prisoner, but they decided to take a shortcut, and they decided, hey, let's go through Whiterun because it's a shortcut. And by doing so, like they just disrespect Whiterun's sovereignty. Like so, yeah. Why doesn't Balgruuf? By the way, what I don't get is why does Balgruuf decide to not side with Ulfric? Maybe that's part of the game, how the developers wanted it, but still, there should have been some kind of option where Balgruuf sides with Ulfric. That would have been cool too. So basically, because it still would be nice to see Balgruuf on the throne instead of Greymane. And Greymane, you know, he's not a bad Jarl either, especially when he fortifies Fort Greymore. Like he actually acts smart. But you know, like it still would have been cool just to see a Stormcloak Balgruuf, you know. But I guess that was the only option they had for Balgruuf, where he eventually has to side with the Imperials. But yeah, like why is he siding with them? Like you and I, my audience, we just noticed, we saw physical evidence of the Imperials violating independent Whiterun's sovereignty. Like so, like I'm sure there are reports that he gets from his scouts or from his other troops, you know, and I'm pretty sure those guys might go through Rorikstead. You mean that there are no messengers in Rorikstead who will not tell Balgruuf, hey, I've seen Imperial soldiers just walking through. Like, does that not bother Balgruuf that, you know, no one is respecting his independence? Okay, this looks suspicious. What's going on here? A wood elf.
Greetings, brother. You look weary. I have something to help you relax if you're interested. Well, yes. Why wouldn't I be? Are you interested in me?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry I said anything then.
Haha. No, I'm definitely not getting married to a drug dealer. So, this guy, let's try to turn him in. What have you got for sale? Oh, what are you talking about? There we go.
Skooma, the sweetest moon
this doesn't seem legal.
At a fair price, of course. Oh, a snitch, huh? Can't have you running any guards now, can I?
Let's go to the guards. Let's see what they do this time. So I mean, this is basically the police. Hey, officer, there he is. Get him. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm gonna. I guess my battery level is low on my controller. So let me charge up my controller. But yeah, let's grab this wood elf because he's bothering me with my story. Anyways. What else did I not cover? I believe I covered most of it. Regarding military strategy, Balgruuf is not that great. I'm sorry to all you Balgruuf fans. And again, I'm not saying he's a bad person. He's a great person. Like, who doesn't want to hang out with Jarl Balgruuf and, you know, dance with Balgruuf? But his security sucks. He's not fit to lead when it comes to, or if he's not that great at military strategy, why does he have bad advisors? Now, Aventus Provenici is probably not a bad advisor regarding maybe some finances, maybe economics and stuff like that. But his bodyguard, damn, I forgot her name. I forgot what that dark elf who serves as his bodyguard. Damn, I literally forgot her name. But yeah, she's basically his commander-in-chief, and like basically she controls the Whiterun military. She's not just his bodyguard. She's in charge of his military, and I think his brother is in charge of the military too, if I'm not mistaken. Like I think he's also, like, I guess the equivalent of a general. I'm not sure, but yeah, but she's definitely the equivalent of a Whiterun general. So why isn't she basically advising Balgruuf, hey, we need this and this? Maybe she's not that great of a strategist. She's probably just more of a warrior. And again, you could be a great warrior, and Balgruuf himself is probably a great warrior. He probably fought. He I believe fought in the Imperial Army. I believe he fought in the Great War as well. But being a great warrior does not mean you're a great strategist. You could be brave in battle. You could fight as many true enemy soldiers and be brave and tough. But you does not mean that you're smart. It doesn't mean that you're. It can mean you're smart. It just doesn't mean that you are that great at making military tactical decisions. Like, because as a leader, you need to have, you need to make military decisions, strategy, tactics, and logistics. And like Balgruuf, he's lacking in those three. He doesn't know strategy, he doesn't know tactics, and he doesn't know logistics. I mean, he's just a good soldier, but that's it. But he's not a great general. And his advisors, none of them are great generals, or none of them are advising him on logistics, tactics, and strategy. Like, and that is why Balgruuf is not a great leader. Like, he is not. He's trying to claim to fight for the interests of Whiterun. His loyalty is to Whiterun first, and then Skyrim, and then maybe the Empire. You know, depending on where the wind shifts, but Whiterun first, then Skyrim, and maybe the Empire. But yeah, Whiterun number one. So if he's so concerned about Whiterun being number one, he wants Whiterun to be like protected. He wants Whiterun's sovereignty as I was starting to mumble there, but yeah, he wants Whiterun to be independent. He wants the people of Whiterun to kind of not be forced into anything. Well, technically he is kind of forcing them into being independent because you have Imperial loyalists, you have Stormcloak loyalists, or shall I say Skyrim loyalists. We are now in Rorikstead, so yeah. Oh crap, I did not download it yet, but there's a mod where I believe it's called Mando's Borders, and right here, like literally, it's either in this spot between these two rocks, or it's probably right here. It's most likely right here between this rock and this rock. There's like a wooden little entrance, and it basically signifies the border between Whiterun and Morthal, because this is basically kind of the border. Let's get this wolf. Boom. Yes, wolf smashed. I'm being weird, but yeah, this is right here. This little spot. It's like the border between three holds. It's if you go this way, this is more like the Reach territory. If you go this way, like right here where I'm looking at, it's more like Morthal's territory, like right here. And this is kind of like Whiterun's territory right here. So yeah, so it's kind of like this like little crossroads between like three holds. And I believe this is technically the Reach right here as well. Like you got Lund's Hut somewhere like in this little area. Lund's Hut's right here. If you go up this trail, yeah, this is definitely the Reach, I believe. Especially when the Reach got like a lot of these crooked trees, because they don't really have like thick forests like the southern part of Whiterun does. The southern part of Whiterun is kind of more foresty, and yeah. Yeah, like somewhere right here. There's a wooden little gate right here that shows up if you download the Mando's Borders mod. But anyways, yeah, I believe I'm getting close to the end of my rant about Balgruuf. I'm trying to just make sure I didn't leave anything out, because yeah, like Balgruuf, he's definitely not well versed in strategy, tactics, and logistics. Those three are very important, and he doesn't have either of those. He doesn't have what it takes to protect his people. Now, if Jarl Greymane is able to protect or at least not protect, but have Fort Greymore full of Stormcloak soldiers, right? Well, technically, it's not even Jarl Greymane. It's technically the Stormcloak general who's in charge, because every city that you go into, every town you go into, there's in the Jarl's cabin, I guess you go to any Jarl's cabin, there's either an Imperial general or a Stormcloak general. And if you're in Dawnstar, you got the Stormcloak general there. I forgot his name. And if you're in Falkreath, there's an Imperial general right there, and they're basically controlling the garrison of the hold, the Imperial garrison or the Stormcloak garrison, depending which side the hold belongs to. And I don't remember if there's an Imperial general in Whiterun before the Civil War quest, but actually no, there isn't. That the Imperial General shows up if you start the Civil War quest, and he just magically shows up there in Whiterun in quarters on Balgruuf's house. But yeah, and basically, where was I going with this? Yeah, so you have like generals that might think of a strategy on how to invade the other side, and I'm pretty sure the generals on the Stormcloak side, the generals on the Imperial side, they're all planning on how to take over Whiterun. Yes, they've been probably fighting each other somewhere along these borders on the southern part right here, and on the northern half of Skyrim. And again, we don't know much about the Civil War, but maybe the Stormcloaks kind of made it this far. They probably made it to Morthal. Technically, yeah, to Morthal, and technically Morthal belongs to Hjalmarsh. Hjalmarsh the Hold. So maybe some Stormcloaks made it this far, and then they got pushed back, and vice versa. Maybe the Imperials kind of made it through here somewhere, and they probably got to Angus Mill, but then the Stormcloaks pushed them back, and vice versa. And or maybe before the dragon attack, maybe the Stormcloaks took over Helgen, but the Imperials pushed them back. You don't know. It goes back again. It's Civil War. It's been going on for at least a year, and it's pretty. There's a lot of info that's missing that we don't know about. But if Whiterun was independent, therefore Whiterun probably avoided Civil War for a long time, and they're lucky. They're lucky that for this entire whole year, neither side has kind of took the risk of just taking over Whiterun, because technically there really isn't much risk. I mean, for both sides, both sides literally, and they're growing impatient. And assuming you, the Dragonborn, never go to Balgruuf. You just never tell them about the dragons. You never tell them to secure Riverwood, right? Basically, and assuming Ulfric does not send the axe to Balgruuf, let's just assume that. What would happen then? A Stormcloak invasion could be this major surprise attack that they could not expect, and boom. So before I go in and have a drink at the bar right here, I just want you guys to know that yes, Balgruuf is not a great leader. I know this. I know this could hurt a lot of your feelings. I mean, it hurts me when I say this, but and it doesn't matter how much he loves his people. I mean, when you play for the Stormcloaks, well, Balgruuf gets what he deserves in the end. I mean, if you're playing on the side of the Stormcloaks and the Stormcloaks take over, and Balgruuf, he looks at you and says, "You, a Stormcloak, I expected much better of you." Well, I mean, Balgruuf, I expected much better of you, knowing, you basically failed your people, and I mean, you got yourself dethroned. You got yourself dethroned because, let's just assume the Dragonborn fights for you, and the Dragonborn, but your side loses. By the way, the game developers did create a losing option, by the way, where you could be fighting for. It doesn't matter which side you're fighting for. There are times there would have been this random. Option in the game, well, it's not really an option, but there would have been some random occurrence in the game where depending what you did, based on your actions, the Imperials could let's say you're fighting for the Stormcloaks, and you take over a certain town. Well, and based on your actions, the Imperial could take over another town, or they could reconquer that town, or you could try to take over a town and you'll lose, and you're the only guy left and you just kind of got to leave, right? And there was this option where you could fight for the Imperials, and you're trying to protect Whiterun, but the Stormcloaks still take over, and so you have to kind of escape the city with Balgruuf and through these underground tunnels. There was this interesting losing option that the developers originally tried to make, but anyways, they did not do that, and so that never happened. And so, but imagine this: imagine you're actually in the world of Skyrim. You're in the world of Elder Scrolls, and you decide to be with the Imperials, and but the Stormcloaks still take over, and Balgruuf has to run. He has to run or surrender. Like basically, like, he failed. He failed his people, and vice versa. What if, again, Balgruuf does not choose a side, and the Imperials just say, "Screw it, screw this guy. He's wasting our time." Because we're having trouble getting to Winterhold because of the ice, all these barriers right here, and it's kind of dangerous for ships to sail through this area. Okay, fine. So like, the Imperials just say, "Screw this," we got to take over Winterhold. It's a central location. Then from there, we just keep going towards Eastmarch, and whatever. Like, the Imperials could eventually just get sick and tired, and the Imperials, they could be ending up arresting Balgruuf, executing him, or Balgruuf might have to escape and go and maybe find refuge amongst Ulfric. So even if he does nothing and the Imperials just theoretically get angry and they just decide to invade Whiterun, and they could. There's so many options, and Balgruuf, either way, he's failed his people. Even when you do start the Civil War quest line, I mean, he's still taking the risk by sending a messenger to the Imperials, because by the time the Imperials get the message, by the time they start dispatching troops, it's a huge possibility that the Stormcloaks could take over Whiterun. And Balgruuf is lucky that the Stormcloaks let him go. Like, now, if Balgruuf, let's say he got forced, or let's say the Imperials take over Whiterun by force, Balgruuf could definitely be executed by the Imperials as a traitor or arrested. And either way, he fails. He fails. And okay. And I said earlier, I'm going to go to this bar and drink, and that's what I'm going to do. So all of y'all have a nice day. Also, please support my channel on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Arizona Gaming Society. And also, please subscribe to this channel, share this video, and I hope you like it. And like this video, like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And just help me out on Patreon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my rant. Y'all have a good night.